Welcome to Michael Pott's F1, everything Formula One, but from a photographer's point of view. Formula One is in its summer break. This is an opportunity for teams and drivers to down tools and take up a new hobby like fly fishing. This is a great opportunity for us to see how the teams have performed during the course of the year. In this series of vlogs, I'd like to focus on each team individually, compare the drivers, see who's performing and who's not. If you like stories of Formula One, specifically from a photographer's point of view, please do like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel. Today we're looking at AlphaTauri. 8th place in the standings is Red Bull's sister team, AlphaTauri, with 27 points. This is another team that is behind where they were last year. The low point in their season must have been when Yuki Sonoda crashed with Pierre Gasly at the British Grand Prix. A chunk of carbon fibre from Yuki Sonoda's car got lodged in Max Verstappen's car, compromising his race. Pierre Gasly and Yuki Sonoda head-to-head. Pierre scored 16 points to Yuki's 11, both with 3 points finishes. In the 7 races that they both finished together, Pierre leads that 5-2. In qualifying results, Pierre leads 7-5, with Yuki not setting a time in Saudi Arabia. They've both been ahead in one of the sprint races. Yuki Sonoda. Sonoda had a difficult first year of Formula One, especially in the first half. He made a lot of mistakes, but things started to click towards the end of the year. With an 8th place in the opening round and a 7th place in Italy, it started to look like things were clicking for Yuki. However, his results have stagnated since then. My photograph of him comes from FP3 in Hungary. The track was full of standing water. I love the symmetry of this shot. The car in the middle with this big ball of water rising up behind it. The shot is fairly monotone, with only the bright red of his helmet jumping out. I've tried to simplify the palette as much as possible to enhance that contrast. Despite those early good results, Sonoda's season's at a crossroads. Since Spain, his results have been very disappointing. There's been a lot of careless mistakes, to the point that Red Bull has decided that it needs to employ a psychologist to help get the best out of him. He's currently out of contract at the end of the year, so he needs some good performances to show that he deserves to be in Formula One. In his favour, there's a potential Red Bull Honda deal. This corporate type would benefit from having a Japanese driver in the team. But more importantly, there currently aren't any Red Bull juniors banging down the door trying to take the seat away from him. Pierre Gasly. He had engine issues in Bahrain. He had 2 crashes, one in Miami and one in Silverstone. Those account for his 3 retirements. But he did have a very good finish of 5th place in the Baku Grand Prix. My shot of Pierre is him facing the wrong way at the start of the sprint race in Austria. He tangled with Lewis at the start, got launched into the air, spun around, and as a result ended up at the back of the grid. I was shooting at ground level, and the cars are coming up a hill at this point. It gives you a very direct view of the action. I generally try and shoot the start at a very fast shutter speed. This makes sure I capture all of the action. Pierre has renewed his contract for AlphaTauri for 2023. This does leave him in a tricky position long term. There doesn't appear to be an obvious path towards the Red Bull seat that he craves. He drove for them before, but was demoted back to AlphaTauri after only half a season. In the past couple of years at AlphaTauri, he's shown his undoubted ability, even claiming a surprise win in Monza. But regardless of what he does, he still gets overlooked by the Red Bull team. They have recently renewed Sergio Perez on a multi-year deal, and Max Verstappen appears to be signed for life. The worrying thing for Pierre is that Red Bull have all of his driving data, and with everything that they know, they've chosen to overlook it. This damages his credibility with other teams, and it's going to make it harder for him to find a seat elsewhere. This year, the car hasn't been that competitive, and it's harder for him to show his value. All of this is degrading his CV, making it harder for him to move to a better team in the future. And with Red Bull, there's always the risk that you'll be fired for the next bright young thing. Thank you for watching my mid-season review of the AlphaTauri team. What do you think are the prospects for AlphaTauri? Do you think they're going to sign Yuki Sonoda for a 3rd season? Please let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch up on my review of Aston Martin, there's a link in the description. Tomorrow we'll look at Haas. Until then, goodbye.